Jai Hind, young friends. Last week, I was rather busy in the dossier assessment. About six aspirants, they wanted me to give my analysis and comments on the dossiers. और इन 6 एस्पिरेंट्स के डोजियर्स को बहुत क्रिटिकली देखने के बाद मेरा एक कंक्लूजन है। मैं आज उसी के बारे में बात करना चाहता हूं आप सभी लोगों से, और उम्मीद है कि आप ये वीडियो शुरू से लेकर के आखिर तक आप देखेंगे। यंग फ्रेंड्स, बहुत पहले ये मेरा ऑब्जर्वेशन रहा है कि यू आर नॉट रिप्रेजेंटिंग योर मेरिट और टैलेंट द वे इट इज। एक बहुत ब्लंटली अगर मैं कहूं तो यू हैव ओनली लर्न टू मिस रिप्रेजेंट योर टैलेंट। यानी आप में जो योग्यता है, जो प्रतिभा है, जो एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स है, वो आपके रिस्पॉन्सेस में बाहर नहीं आ रही है। और बाहर क्या आ रहा है? बाहर आ रहा है आपका कंफ्यूजन। आपके रिस्पॉन्सेस से साफ पता चलता है कि खास करके टीएटी में कि आप अपनी स्टोरीज उस तरह से नहीं लिख रहे हैं जिस तरह से साइकोलॉजिस्ट के इंस्ट्रक्शंस के हिसाब से होना चाहिए था। बहुत साफ साइकोलॉजिस्ट कहता है, योर स्टोरीज मस्ट कवर व्हाट लेड टू द सिचुएशन, व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन एंड व्हाट द आउटकम विल बी। यानी कोई चीज ऐसी है, स्टोरी का पॉइंट मैं कह रहा हूं, वो पास्ट से शुरू हुआ, प्रेजेंट में कंटिन्यू कर रहा है और फ्यूचर में जाकर के समाप्त होगा। तो एक बात तो ये है। दूसरी बात, यंग फ्रेंड्स समझिए कि टीएटी स्टोरीज क्या है। दे हैव टू बी बेस्ड ऑन योर अपरसेप्शन। और यहां मुझे कहना है कि मोस्ट ऑफ यू are certainly confused, or you have been made to confuse by those myths and misnomers of the coaching institute and pseudo mentors about what perception is and what apperception is. मुझे लगता है most of you writing your stories based on merely परसेप्शन एंड नॉट अपरसेप्शन। आज हम देखेंगे कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन परसेप्शन एंड अपरसेप्शन, एंड वी विल सी 2 स्टोरीज एग्जाम्पल के लिए which actually have been given to me by different candidates. उनका एग्जाम्पल लेकर के we will understand the actual meaning of perception and apperception, and then we will see how the wrong concept of perception and apperception is affecting your performance. Young friends, so topic for today is, are you basing your stories on apperception or merely perception? तो इसके पहले कि हम इस टॉपिक पर आए, let me explain you or remind you what exactly is the demand in this test. You are projected, means the psychologist projects a picture on the screen. What do you see in the picture? Picture में आप देखते क्या है? There are 3 components, or there are 3 ingredients, or 3 things you will find in every picture. कौन कौन सी 3 चीजें? You will find some human beings, some characters. Mostly, yes, there are a few pictures, 1 or 2, that too with lot of rarity. ऐसा नहीं कि वैसी पिक्चर्स बार बार आती हैं। एक आध पिक्चर्स जरूर ऐसी हैं जिसमें कोई ह्यूमन कैरेक्टर नहीं होता, बट उनकी प्रेजेंस डायरेक्ट ना होकर के इम्प्लाइड प्रेजेंस होती है। उन पिक्चर्स को आप छोड़ दें, लेकिन मोस्ट ऑफ द पिक्चर्स जो आपको दिखाई जाती हैं, they contain some human beings. They have got some human beings there. They have got certain objects, man-made or nature-made objects, and the human beings and these objects, they are having an environment. एक environment में ये दोनों चीजें आपको देखने को मिलती हैं. समझिए, अब यहां से हम देखते हैं कि परसेप्शन और अपरसेप्शन में फर्क क्या है. जब आप ऑब्जेक्ट्स को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं या ह्यूमन बीइंग्स को देख करके एक कंक्लूजन पर पहुंचते हैं कि वो यंग है, ओल्ड है, मेल है, फीमेल है, एंग्री है, हैप्पी है. आपको याद होगा पीपी एंड डीटी में जो बेसिक 3 चीजें हैं, योर एज, आई मीन द एज ऑफ द कैरेक्टर्स, gender, and the mood. Mood is the emotional state, age, and gender that you know. So human beings, they have got their own identity in terms of age, gender, and the mood. जब आपने इन 3 चीजों को आपने पहचान लिया तो this is perception. But human beings, they have got some intentions. वो कुछ कर रहे होते हैं. They have got some, they're performing some acts. What is that act? उनका इंटेंशन क्या है? Let us say, आपने देखा कि एक रास्ता है, एक रोड है, उसके ऊपर एक कोई 20-25 साल का कोई यंग मैन, ही इज वॉकिंग. अब वो कहां जा रहा है, किस पर्पस से जा रहा है, ये भी आपकी स्टोरीज में आना चाहिए. जब आप उसको देखते हैं कि ही इज वॉकिंग, दिस इज परसेप्शन. लेकिन वो घर आ रहा है या घर से कहीं जा रहा है, किस काम के लिए जा रहा है, जब आप इस चीज को अपनी इमेजिनेशन से या किसी और कॉग्निटिव फैकल्टी से आप इसको पता करते हैं, तो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ परसेप्शन. So besides the identification, when you are identifying the purpose or aim of the human beings, then it becomes a perception. इसी तरीके से ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं. ऑब्जेक्ट्स, दे हैव गॉट देयर यूटिलिटी. एक एग्जांपल देता हूं मैं आपको. मान लीजिए कि एक ड्राइंग रूम का सीन है, उसके बीच में एक चेयर रखी हुई है. किसी भी तरह की चेयर हो सकती है, स्टडी चेयर हो सकती है, डाइनिंग चेयर हो सकती है, इट मे बी अ स्टूल आइदर, बट लेट अस से इफ इट इज केप्ट राइट इन द सेंटर ऑफ ए ड्राइंग रूम. अब वो सेंटर में क्यों रखी, इट इज चेयर और स्टूल, जब आप ये पता करते हैं, दिस इज परसेप्शन. बट व्हाट इज द पर्पस with which that particular chair is kept or positioned there in the drawing room, ये पर्पस जब आप पता करते हैं तो then it becomes a perception. Young friends, समझिए, as per the classical understanding of apperception, psychologists say perception, when it is taken a step further, apperception is a perception of perception. Apperception is a step beyond perception. समझने की कोशिश कीजिए कि जब आपको एक पिक्चर दी जाती है और ये कहा जाता है यू हैव टू मेक अ स्टोरी, देन द एक्शंस एंड इंटेंशंस ऑफ दैट person or the utility of the things, they are to be integrated, and then the story must be having a coverage of these things. But what happens? अभी most of you, आप क्या कर रहे हैं कि प्रेजेंट पिक्चर में जो ह्यूमन बीइंग्स हैं, जो ऑब्जेक्ट हैं, उसको आप मात्र आइडेंटिफिकेशन के लिए इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, और आपकी स्टोरी है, इट इज ऑन अ वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट थीम ऑल टुगेदर. दैट सिंपली मीन्स you are using the picture only to identify the human beings and find out the utility of the objects. But what is the purpose of the interaction going on between two human beings? For example, in some picture you might be seeing two human beings, they're interacting. और एक रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म का सीन है, उसमें one person is interacting with another person who has got some bag. It seems that he has alighted from the train. So what is the purpose of the interaction? As long as both the human beings are there, you have identified only up to this point. This is perception. But the purpose of the interaction on the railway platform, that means it is on in an environment, this becomes a perception. I'm saying with a lot of concern, and certainly it pains me quite a lot to see that most of you have given your stories based on perception only. Kaise? Let's understand with the help of example. Young friends, look at this picture. It was given to one of the candidates, one of the aspirants who has approached me for his Dawder assessment. ये picture दी गई थी. The three things you can find here. There's an environment, okay? Landscape hai, water body hai, culvert hai, okay? And it seems that there is a bit of cloudy weather. And what further you can see about the human beings, there are 4 cyclists, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There seems to be a pedestrian here. And now the important thing is that a cyclist who is ahead of all the others, you can see here, he has turned towards his right hand side, okay? He has raised his hand and he is signaling towards others. There is again a kind of interaction going on. There is some activity of communication is going on from this person to others. As per the instructions given by the psychologist, what is going on? So what is going on? That, okay, some cyclists, okay, they are going, and one person who is ahead of them is communicating something to the others. Naturally, the story is expected to cover this action and the environment. But look at the story. Now, I'll show you what is the story. I'll read it for you. The aspirant has written that Roshan, 23 years old, a student of university, was selected in cycling for 35 kilometers in the country to represent its university. He, along with 3 other students, Roshan took the initiative to practice and motivate the group. He formed the time frame, gathered the resources, ORS, glucose, cycles from PT store, and with others, he practiced daily. After a few, checks, I don't know, yeah, what is this word? They represented the college and did well, brought laurels. He thanked his team members for supporting their effort. Now let us understand from the viewpoint of a psychologist. Has this story covered what's going on? Has this story covered the environment? No, not at all. In fact, there are 4 cyclists. Roshan is there, his teammates are there. They have covered a distance of 35 kilometers, let's say, or they have participated in a cycling expedition. That's all. So the candidate has only used the human figures for identifying, and their cyclists, it is visible. He has attached a purpose that they have to go, or cover a distance of 35 kilometers. And after that, another point which I wanted to bring it to your notice, that the whole story has given the maximum attention to organizing or for the preparation of the event. What is going on? What are the challenges? What is the environment they are traversing? There's nothing which is covered. So all I can say that in this story, or in this story, this story is based merely on the perception rather than the apperception. When the story covers the purpose of interaction or the purpose of the whole action beyond the 35 kilometers of race. Once you say that they are covering a distance of 35 kilometers, it is merely a report or merely it's a description. Try to understand. There's a difference between the story and description. To cut the long story short, this story is a typical example in which the perception dominates apperception. In fact, what is the apperception? It is yet to come. Now let's go to another story by the same person. Here, the picture was this. You see, it appears like a drawing room of some family. There's an old person sitting here, and it seems he's reading the newspaper. There are two ladies, okay, who are standing. One is standing here, other is sitting. There's a young child, girl child. She is, in a relaxed attitude. She is there in the sofa. But the most important thing to see here it is that there is a person, and look at his attitude, look at his actions, and look at his facial expressions. He seems to be making a point, communicating something forcefully. Sometimes some people may say that aggressively. Quite possible. There is a kind of action in the body language which shows that the person is unhappy. And you can see here, the old man is not even looking into his eyes, but only through the corner of his eyes. And the other two ladies are quite, dumbfounded. Okay. Your story must cover the type of interaction, okay, that you see in this picture. But look at the story. Tarun, a 30-year-old, or engineer, an engineer hona chahiye tha, doesn't matter, posted in Mumbai. He was living with the family, but since he was on a project, he was not able to spend family time. After completing the project, once he decided to go Lonavala for a small picnic with parents, wife, and his daughter. He also decided to distribute food. He bought food from outside and packaged at him with his family members. And while they were on their way to Lonavala, they distributed the food to poor and underprivileged ones. They celebrated the picnic, enjoyed, and returned. What is going on in the projected picture? An interaction in which one person is communicating very, very vividly, maybe loudly. Others are merely listening. The candidate has utilized the whole scene, that there is a young man, there's his mother, his parents, there's his wife, and there's a child. This is merely an identification of the family. And remaining story is on how they have gone on a picnic, they have bought the food, they have packaged it, and they have distributed. What led to the situation here? Why the young man seems to be a little agitated? What type of interaction is going on? And what the outcome will be? Is this story anyway covering these 3 points? No, perhaps. A big no. Psychologist is not going to get any answer on these questions. And again, my second point of observation, that is, the entire story is, instead of achievement of some mission, it is about how to organize a picnic, okay, a fun time, how to have a quality time. So young friends, please try to understand Once again, my point that the candidate has utilized only the characters as a family, but what type of interaction is going on has been found missing in the story. This exactly is the thing which many of you are, utilizing very little of the objects and the human beings, and you are using it only for the purpose of identification, which is merely, what must I say, which is merely the perception and not the apperception. It is thematic apperception test, and unless your stories they are based on your apperception, they will remain the limited input for your personality assessment or for the employability skills. Young friends, I hope you got my point. Please keep watching my videos, subscribe, like my YouTube channel. All the very best. The numbers to contact me for dossier evaluation and the guidance program, they are flashed here. You can see in the corner of the background, the numbers are mentioned here. You are most welcome to contact me. Thank you. God bless you.